Welcome to this week's cosmic journey into the wild tales and science fiction adventures of geek theorists and stone philosophers. This is the Big Bong Theory Podcast. Get ready to have your reality gently bent.
Yeah, this week you shared with us a truly mind-bending piece titled Deja. This story plunges us into the chaotic basement kingdom of two perpetually baked buddies, Leo and Mikey, and their cheap bong, affectionately nicknamed the Timepiece.
Our mission on this cosmic journey is to unpack the bizarre events that unfold when their hazy afternoon takes a decidedly temporal turn. We'll explore the strange visitors, the repeating 5-minute window, and the truly inventive, if somewhat stone solutions Leo and Mikey come up with. Prepare for surprises and a healthy dose of stoner logic. Okay, let's unpack this. We find our heroes, Leo and Mikey, in their natural habitat, the basement. Picture the scene. Pizza boxes forming precarious towers and folded laundry in a state of permanent limbo, game controllers scattered like fallen soldiers, and a collection of what the author delightfully calls questionable science fair rejects.
What's fascinating here, and what your source material immediately establishes, is that even amidst this ordinary, slightly chaotic setting, Leo and Mikey's minds are already wandering into the realm of the extraordinary trace. Their philosophical debate about disappearing socks and the possibility of interdimensional refugees seeking asylum from foot fungus perfectly sets the stage for the strangeness to come.
Yeah.
It's that juxtaposition of the mundane and the mind-bending that really grabs your attention.
It really does. I mean, who hasn't lost a sock to the laundry void? But the leap to interdimensional refugees, that's a creative tangent. And just as they're exploring this sock-based metaphysics, bam! The flimsy basement door practically explodes inward. Talk about an interruption. What do you make of the author's choice to introduce the extraordinary with such sudden violence?
That abrupt shift is definitely jarring. One moment, cosmic sock theories, the next three menacing figures. Skull Mask with his pistol instantly creates a sense of threat. Tech Guy, nervously fiddling with a blinking device, introduces an element of unsettling, perhaps unexplained technology. And then there's Refrigerator Guy. His sheer size and tactical gear are immediately intimidating. It's a deliberate disruption, forcing Leo and Mikey, and by extension, you, out of their comfortable, hazy reality.
They burst in demanding, "Where is it?" And the artifact, handed over. Leo and Mikey, understandably caught off guard, are in a state of bewilderment. And in the middle of this chaos, the timepiece slips from Leo's fingers. It seems like a minor detail at the time, but it becomes central to everything, doesn't it?
It's that moment of vulnerability, that disruption of their relaxed state that ignites the central conflict. Mikey, trying to be helpful in his own way, points towards the perpetual motion hamster wheel as a possible artifact. This really underscores their complete lack of understanding of what these intruders are after highlighting the absurdity of the situation. And then the gunshot. It's a stark moment.
The violence is so sudden. One second they're bantering about socks, the next there's searing pain and a dark stain spreading on Mikey's t-shirt. And that's when things take a sharp turn into the bizarre. The world seems to tilt, colors blur, and the gurgle of the bong it stretches out becomes this distorted, echoing sound. It's a very effective way the author uses sound to signal that their reality is fracturing. What stood out to you about that auditory cue?
That elongated bong gurgle is a fascinating detail. It's the initial sound cue that time itself is behaving erratically. And then the immediate repetition. The bong gurgles again, Leo inhales, and they're right back into the same sock conversation. That chilling feeling of deja vu, but amplified of having experienced this exact moment just seconds ago, it's palpable in your source material.
Absolutely. And Mikey's almost instinctive rubbing of his shoulder, even though the gunshot hasn't happened this time, really sells the lingering impact of the previous violent iteration. It's not just a feeling of familiarity. It's like a fractured memory bleeding through into the present. And Leo's chilling recognition, like bad deja vu, perfectly captures the shift from a common experience to something deeply unsettling and wrong.
The second crash of the door confirms their worst fears. Skull Mask, Tech Guy, Refrigerator. Guy, the same menacing figures, the same expressions, the same demand. It's the sheer repetition, the identical dialogue that hammers home the terrifying truth. This isn't just a strange coincidence, it's a time loop. What do you think their initial reactions tell us about the human psyche when confronted with the inexplicable?
Well, initially it's pure panic, which is understandable, but they quickly pivot to trying to break free. In the third iteration, Leo immediately tries to change the outcome, yelling, okay, don't shoot, and claiming they have no artifacts. But the invaders seem to be operating on some kind of information. We don't yet have the mention of the sub-eighth frequency. Suggests they have a way of knowing their target is present, and the search begins regardless of Leo's plea.
This is where we start to see a blend of desperation, and as your source playfully called it, stoner logic in their attempts to escape Refrigerator. Guy's unfortunate encounter with the falling physics textbook is a prime example of accidental brilliance. It's a mundane object in their chaotic environment becoming an unexpected and effective weapon. It raises the question, in a chaotic situation, is any action, no matter how random, potentially significant?
And Leo's quick thinking with the ocean breeze air freshener, blinding skull mask with a sudden burst of floral scent during a home invasion, it's absurd, and yet in that moment, it works. And then Mikey seizing the opportunity, smashing Tech Guy's blinking device with the timepiece itself. It's a moment of genuine, albeit clumsy, heroism. It's interesting how they instinctively target the tools of their aggressors, even without fully understanding them.
That momentary triumph, that fleeting sense that they've actually altered the course of events, is quickly shattered by the world slickering and the return of that distorted bong gurgle. It emphasizes the immense power of the loop, the difficulty of truly escaping it. It's almost as if their actions are just causing a temporary glitch before reality snaps back to its predetermined path. What do you make of this recurring reset? Does it suggest a rigid, unyielding nature to the time anomaly?
It certainly feels that way. They realize that direct confrontation, at least in their initial panicked attempts, isn't going to be enough. So they start to adapt, to learn from each repetition. We see them utilizing their environment in increasingly inventive and desperate ways. The jar of slightly too viscous slime and the box of knockoff Lego bricks become surprisingly effective tools in incapacitating the imposing refrigerator guy. It's almost comical, the mundane objects becoming instruments of defense against these heavily armed intruders.
What's particularly engaging here is how they begin to learn and strategize across the loops. They start anticipating the invaders' movements, coordinating their responses. Mikey's attempt to use a stale pepperoni pizza as a projectile against Tech Guy, while ultimately unsuccessful, demonstrates a willingness to try anything no matter how ridiculous in there. It highlights the human tendency to experiment, even in the face of utter bewilderment.
And let's not forget Leo's makeshift flamethrower, air freshener, and a lighter. That's pure stoner MacGyverism right there. Their evolving tactics, their attempts to communicate and secure the taser, it shows a growing awareness of the threats they face and a desperate need to gain some kind of advantage in this repeating nightmare. It's a testament to their resilience even in their altered state.
It's during these repeated iterations that Leo starts to piece together the underlying mechanics of their predicament. His hypothesis that the loop is roughly 5 minutes long and triggered by the initial bong inhale is a crucial breakthrough. It provides them with a framework to understand when the reset occurs, even if they don't yet grasp why. This marks a shift from pure reaction to a more analytical approach, however hazy.
And their subsequent attempt to break the loop by not smoking. That's a logical, if ultimately futile, experiment based on Leo's hypothesis. It underscores their desperation to find any escape route from this terrifying time trap. The fact that it fails reinforces the idea that the timepiece is more than just a cheap smoking device. It's intrinsically linked to the temporal anomaly.
Which leads to the pivotal desperate act, Leo's decision to destroy the timepiece. Despite Monkey's understandable protests, after all, it is the timepiece. Leo recognizes it as the potential anchor of this destabilizing temporal anomaly. It's a significant escalation, a willingness to sacrifice their beloved bong for a chance at restoring their normal reality. What do you think this sacrifice signifies about their understanding of the situation, however limited?
It shows a level of intuitive understanding, a gut feeling that the source of their torment might also be the key to their freedom, and the consequences are definitely unexpected. Instead of ending the loop, the invaders become enraged, revealing the bong as a temporal anchor, causing a destabilizing loop. Suddenly, this isn't just a random glitch, there's a reason for it, and their seemingly insignificant bong is central to it. This raises even more questions about the nature of this artifact and why these intruders were so desperate to retrieve it.
The invaders' dialogue in this moment is quite revealing, even if it's steeped in technobabble. Their talk of a sub-ATHA frequency containment field failing, signal loss, and protocol overrider emergency chronotin dispersal throws a whole bunch of science fiction terminology into the mix, suggesting a much larger, more complex and potentially technologically driven context for their intrusion. It hints at forces beyond their immediate understanding, perhaps even a form of temporal law enforcement or containment.
And then they just disintegrate. Tech Guy dissolves into glittering dust, refrigerator guy flickers out of existence, and skull mask vanishes. It's a bizarre and sudden end to their immediate threat, leaving Leo and Mikey in stunned silence trying to process the utterly inexplicable. Their bewildered theories about time cops or glitch hunters are their stoned attempts to rationalize the nonsensical. It's a humorous yet unsettling moment, highlighting the limits of their understanding.
But the narrative doesn't conclude there, does it? Leo's discovery of the tarnished brass locket is a crucial turning point. Its warmth and faint hum suggest that this seemingly insignificant trinket might have been the real artifact they were after, the actual source of the temporal anomaly, with the bong merely acting as some kind of amplifier or trigger. What do you make of the introduction of this new element so late in the story?
It definitely throws a curveball. Just when you think you've grasped the situation, it was about the bong. This other artifact emerges, hinting at a deeper mystery. And just when they think the weirdness is over, it escalates again. The sudden cold, the flickering lights, the low synthesized hum, it all signals the arrival of a new unknown force, one that feels far more advanced and in control. The appearance of blue grid lines and the calm synthesized voice identifying the situation as a temporal anomaly neutralized and an unscheduled reality maintenance subroutine complete is deeply unsettling. It shifts the tone from a chaotic invasion to something more systematic and controlled.
This voice represents a level of authority and control far beyond the initial bumbling invaders. The concept of reality maintenance suggests a structured, almost bureaucratic entity overseeing the very fabric of their existence. And the detection of subject awareness as an unacceptable deviation takes the story into truly chilling territory, implying that any recognition of the time loop or the interference is a problem that needs to be corrected.
Right. Memory wipe protocol initiated, resetting local instance to baseline parameters. It's as if Leo and Mikey are just components in some larger system, and their brief moment of awareness is a glitch that needs to be eliminated. And that final warning, or almost amused remark about them getting to wonder about the socks all over again, it's both darkly humorous and utterly terrifying in its implications. It suggests a complete disregard for their individual experience and a cold, calculating approach to maintaining their reality.
It highlights the cyclical and ultimately futile nature of their struggle within this maintained reality. Their individual experiences, their attempts to break free and understand what's happening, are ultimately erased, condemning them to repeat the same mundane mysteries, forever oblivious to the forces manipulating their lives. And then the final reset, the white light consuming everything, leading them right back to the beginning of their hazy afternoon.
And the final scene, mirroring the start, is just perfect in its unsettling simplicity. Mikey's faint, almost subconscious sense of familiarity with the sock discussion, a ghost of the previous loops clinging to his mind, and Leo's oblivious dismissal of it perfectly underscores the chilling effectiveness of the memory wipe. The larger unseen forces at play remain completely hidden from them, leaving them trapped in an endless cycle of stone speculation and temporal intrusion.
So you just experienced a truly wild ride through the bizarre logic of a time-looped basement. What started as a stoned philosophical debate devolved into a desperate battle against, well, who knows what they were exactly. Time Cop's interdimensional cleanup crew. The story leaves us pondering the nature of the forces that might govern our reality.
Consider the implications. What was the tarnished brass locket? Why was it causing the temporal anomaly, and why was the bong so crucial to the invaders? And who or what is this entity performing reality maintenance?
The story leaves us with far more questions than answers. Doesn't it prompting you to consider the hidden layers that might exist in what we perceive as reality?
This cosmic journey into Deja highlights how even the most mundane of settings, a couple of stone buddies in a basement, can become a stage for extraordinary reality-bending events. It makes you wonder about those little coincidences in your own life. Are they just random occurrences, or could there be something more at play beneath the surface of the everyday? We encourage you to ponder the nature of reality, the potential for hidden forces operating unseen. And maybe think twice the next time you can't find a matching sock. Perhaps it's not just the washing machine with a secret appetite.
Thank you for joining us on the Big Bong Theory Podcast. If this cosmic journey has sparked your curiosity or left you questioning everything you thought you knew, be sure to rate and follow for more world-bending tales. Until next time, keep your mind open and your bongs. Well, maybe just think about what temporal shenanigans they might be involved in.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time, folks.
Yeah, bye. Peace out.